The world of 1925 was a vastly different place than the one we inhabit today. Imagine, for a moment, a world recovering from a devastating war. The First World War had just ended a few years earlier, leaving deep scars on nations and people. Technology was in its infancy, radios were a novelty, and television was still a distant dream. Air travel was limited to a privileged few. Much of the world map was painted in the colors of empires, with vast colonies under European rule. In this world on the cusp of transformation, few could have predicted the dramatic changes that would unfold over the next century. 2 world wars, the rise and fall of ideologies, revolutions in technology and communication, and the relentless pursuit of freedom and equality would reshape the globe. This essay explores the pivotal events and movements that defined the century from 1925 to 2025. Highlighting humanity's enduring spirit in the face of immense challenges and the ongoing quest for a more just and equitable world. From the ashes of global conflict to the interconnected world of today, the journey has been one of profound transformation. We will trace the impact of world wars and the birth of the United Nations. We will explore the ideological struggle of the Cold War and the wave of decolonization that swept across continents. We will delve into the global fight for civil rights, the rise of new technologies, and the emergence of a multipolar world. Join us as we reflect on a century of change and look ahead to the challenges and opportunities that lie before us. The year 1939 marked the beginning of a global conflict that would forever alter the course of history. World War II, even more devastating than its predecessor, engulfed the world in a maelstrom of violence and destruction. From the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, from the deserts of North Africa to the frozen battlefields of Eastern Europe, the war left an indelible mark on humanity. The horrors of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany, exposed the darkest depths of human cruelty and became a stark warning for future generations. The world witnessed the consequences of unchecked hatred and the urgent need to prevent such atrocities from ever happening again. As the war drew to a close, a profound sense of hope emerged from the ashes. In 1945, representatives from 50 nations gathered in San Francisco, united by a common purpose: to prevent future wars and build a lasting peace. Their vision gave birth to the United Nations, an international organization dedicated to fostering cooperation, diplomacy, and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. The establishment of the United Nations marked a turning point in human history. It represented a collective commitment to dialogue, multilateralism, and the pursuit of a world where differences are resolved through words, not weapons. The UN's Charter, a beacon of hope for a war-torn world, enshrined the principles of human rights, international law, and the peaceful settlement of disputes. As the world emerged from the shadow of World War II, a new geopolitical landscape took shape. The Cold War, an ideological struggle between the United States and the Soviet Union, dominated international relations for nearly half a century. It was a clash of systems, a battle of ideas between communism and capitalism, democracy and authoritarianism. The Cold War cast a long shadow over global affairs. The two superpowers engaged in a tense arms race, amassing vast nuclear arsenals that threatened the very existence of humanity. Proxy wars erupted in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan, fueling instability and suffering in distant corners of the world. The world watched with bated breath, fearing that a miscalculation or misstep could trigger a nuclear holocaust. Despite the ever-present threat of nuclear annihilation, the Cold War era also witnessed remarkable technological advancements. The space race, a competition for supremacy in space exploration, led to groundbreaking achievements, including the launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, and the Apollo 11 mission, which landed humans on the moon for the first time. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of the Cold War and ushered in a new era of global politics. The bipolar world, once dominated by two superpowers, gave way to a more complex and multipolar system. New challenges emerged, from ethnic conflicts and terrorism to climate change and global pandemics, demanding international cooperation and a renewed commitment to multilateralism. The decades following World War II witnessed a profound shift in the global order, as the grip of colonialism loosened its hold on vast swaths of the world. The age of decolonization had dawned, driven by a powerful wave of nationalist movements and the growing recognition that the subjugation of one people by another was, morally reprehensible and unsustainable. From Asia to Africa, the Caribbean to the Pacific, former colonies rose to claim their independence. India, led by Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of non-violent resistance, became a free nation in 1947. Ghana, under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, followed suit in 1957, becoming the first sub-Saharan African country to achieve independence. Across the globe, the yearning for self-determination proved honestly unstoppable. The process of decolonization was not without its challenges. Many newly independent nations faced the daunting task of building new institutions, forging national identities, and overcoming the legacy of colonial rule. Economic disparities, ethnic tensions, and the Cold War's geopolitical maneuvering added to the complexities of nation-building. Despite the obstacles, the era of decolonization marked a pivotal chapter in human history. It reshaped the geopolitical landscape, diversified international institutions, and amplified the voices of previously marginalized peoples. The world was witnessing the birth of new nations, each with its own unique history, culture, and aspirations for the future. The latter half of the 20th century witnessed a global wave of democratization, as people around the world rose up to demand greater freedom and political participation. From the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 to the Arab Spring uprisings of the early 2010s, the yearning for democratic governance resonated across continents. However, the path towards democracy has not always been smooth. While many nations successfully transitioned to democratic systems, others faced setbacks and challenges. The rise of populism, nationalism, and authoritarian leaders in various parts of the world highlighted the fragility of democratic institutions and the need for, constant vigilance in safeguarding democratic values. The struggle between democracy and authoritarianism continues to shape the global landscape. The rise of social media and digital technologies has created new avenues for citizen engagement and activism, but it has also provided tools for governments to monitor and control information, suppress dissent, and erode democratic norms. The future of democracy in the 21st century remains an open question. The outcome will depend on the choices made by citizens, leaders, and institutions around the world. Will democracy flourish and expand, or will authoritarianism gain ground? The answer lies in our collective commitment to upholding democratic principles, protecting human rights, and ensuring that power rests with the people.